Welcome to a new episode of the Sims 3 Completionist Challenge. In the previous video, Benjamin left his hometown to move to Lucky Palms to begin unlocking the third skill, handiness. After placing everything the man brought from his previous home into this one, I had him call the services and ask for a firefighter. Charlene Lynch arrived while Benjamin was talking to the mail carrier and charged us a 500 simoleon fine for making a fake call, even though that wasn't my intention. Instead, I wanted Benjamin to meet the NPC wife number 1 option I had for him. Although my plans were cut short when I spied on her age with Master Controller and discovered that she is about to become an adult. My intention is for Benjamin's wife to be a firefighter and to do the firefighter superhero lifetime wish. But my experience with this wish has shown me that it takes a Sim's entire young adult, and even elder life to complete. So she won't be able to be, much to my disappointment. So I proceeded to look up the age of Bettina Alexander, the mail carrier, and she was the same age as Benjamin. So even though she was my third or fourth choice, I decided not to look any further and chose her as my Sim's future wife. Due to one of those strange things that happens in this game, Bettina disappeared before we could ask her to stay. Benjamin proceeded to call to her after sending the rocks he'd brought from his house to be cut. While talking to the woman, some neighbors came to welcome him to the neighborhood, just as had happened in the first video with our founder. A little while later, Bettina joined the group at Benjamin's request, immediately marking her territory, lest another woman conquer her future husband before her. I left them on free will for a bit and they convinced me that choosing Bettina was the right thing to do since the first thing they did was flirt with each other. Furthermore, the woman was determined to give him lots of flowers. Benjamin was very happy with this. Theirs wasn't the only romance that was starting. I love free will in The Sims 3. If it weren't for the fact that this kind of challenge requires so much intervention on my part, I'd leave them alone for several hours to see what happens. But since I couldn't do that, I ordered Benjamin to befriend Bettina and invite her to live with him. When I added her to the household, I ran into the typical problem that happens when you move NPCs in. The panels freeze no matter which sim you choose, so I had to save and exit the game. Bettina has no traits like all the NPCs in Lucky Palms, but at least she looks pretty after the makeover, and she was very kind to have a name that starts with B and go with my alphabet theme. I remembered that we had to buy back the buildings we'd sold before moving according to the rules of the challenge. So Benjamin used the computer for this despite his phobia, while Bettina joined the fire department. I'm sharing a trick that I learned a while ago in case someone doesn't know it yet. If you set all the light to any color in any of the buildings that come with ambitions, this fixes the darkness in them. After Bettina went to bed, I had Benjamin use the motive mobile and then read the first handiness book until the start of this first shift. Benjamin and Bettina had their first day at work. I had her learn athletics, not only to kickstart her career but also to fulfill a wish. I need her to collect 10,000 happiness points so I can buy the midlife crisis reward to change her lifetime wish to firefighter superhero. That same day she had her first emergency, a small house fire, and despite it happening on the other side of town, she was able to arrive in time to complete it within 3 hours and earn an A rating, which gives more experience and money the higher the grade. Unfortunately, by paying more attention to Bettina's work, I neglected Benjamin's. I chose the work hard option a few hours after his shift started instead of at the beginning, so Benjamin missed out on a promotion he could have easily earned. When I chose Benjamin's traits, I had planned for him to be the one in charge of supermaxing the handiness skill, but I've changed my mind. The firefighter profession has a couple of handiness upgrades specific to it, so it seems more logical to me to have Bettina in charge of this task, while the man will learn the skill mostly through reading. Bettina had an opportunity to increase her athletic skill. And the next day, it was Benjamin's turn to have one, but to increase handiness. This save keeps giving me more opportunities than usual, which I attribute to fewer expansions enabled. I must confess I'm overusing Motive Mobile and my Sims aren't sleeping at night. Watching them get into the van, I realized I didn't choose the best spot to build the house, since they run all the way to the back street to get into it. Until now, Benjamin and Bettina had been living together in the house only as friends, but it's time for their relationship to take a different direction. They happened to have their first kiss just before the man had to leave for work. There aren't many emergencies to deal with at work right now, so Bettina spends her time updating the equipment needed to do a good job. Or exercising. Thanks to both skills, she's quickly rising through the career's ranks. Benjamin has used his technophobic trait to sabotage the computer, but so far he hasn't succeeded. In her spare time, Bettina fixes the broken toilets of the previous house, which I kept in the family inventory for this purpose. By completing several wishes regarding her skills, the woman was able to gather the 10,000 happiness points to change her lifetime wish to firefighter superhero. Now we have to wait for emergencies that have people trapped, since so far these have only involved putting out fires without having to save lives. I hope they start happening soon, since rescuing 30 Sims for the lifetime wish isn't easy. At least these emergencies give her work experience. Benjamin is also advancing rapidly in his career, although not at the same level as Bettina. They formalized their relationship by getting engaged to be married, although I didn't realize I wasn't recording when this happened, so what you have as proof is the engaged moodlet. Several days passed in the game and I thought it was time for the couple to have their first child. For this house, I'm planning on having 2 children, although they're going to be spaced out enough to be able to accomplish everything I have in mind with my Sims. With the second child being the next heir, although everything can change as I play if I consider that is not the best option. I had them conceive at night for 2 reasons. 1, so Bettina could complete her first week at work. And second, so the baby would be born shortly before midnight, so they'd only be a baby for 2 days. Unfortunately, this caused the woman to feel sick for her entire shift. Bettina was unlucky enough to be one of those Sims who constantly had the sick moodlet while waiting for confirmation of the pregnancy. Benjamin's workload is lighter than his fiancée's, since he only has to go to work and read up on the handiness skill, so I had him collect gems like his mother did, to have the complete collection. I don't know if it's the best plan to do this so early in the challenge and with some key expansions not yet enabled, but collecting is something I really like in The Sims 3, so I'll see at some point if it's a good choice or not. And with Benjamin collecting gems, I'll leave you until the next episode. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Until next time. Bye.